theme that you're going to hear this week is how innovation and getting cutting-edge tools into the hands of builders can actually make an impact. You heard a lot about that already today. So Tomer is going to tell us, what have you been working on?
Well, in the past year and a half, I've been working on Soroban, a new smart contracts platform tailored for the Stellar ecosystem. And it does all these amazing things that we're going to talk about.
These things really, folks should pay attention and talk about. So the Stellar Network, and Jed and David, the co-founders, are actually in the room. The Stellar Network wasn't built with smart contracts at its inception. Did you guys all know that? Yeah. And there were reasons for that at the time. And many people say that we're late to the game. Tomer?
Yeah, so I think the key word here is evolution. So, Stellar has real-world utility, real-world product market fit. We have real-world assets more than any other blockchain. We have the best accessibility for fiat on and off ramps in the ecosystem. And so with Soroban, what we're doing is we're allowing developers using smart contracts to leverage the existing infrastructure that we have. So this is evolutionary. We're not pivoting. We're still the same Stellar network, focusing on equitable access to the world's financial system. The only difference is that we're giving you developers a much upgraded toolbox to achieve that with.
Sounds good. Love it.
Awesome. So Danelle, I'm going to kick you
me
off stage.
Yeah.
Don't fire me.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. OK, Idris, an easy act to follow. OK, so let's talk a bit about the Stellar and Soroban journey. It's been quite the journey. Last year, in March 2022, we announced Project Jump Cannon, bringing smart contracts to the Stellar ecosystem. In August of that year, last year, we launched our first preview release. And 2 months later, in October, on this stage, or the equivalent stage in Italy, we launched FutureNet, which is a public network that always has the latest Soroban preview release on it. And so in total, we've had 10 preview releases, and each preview release delivered new features. You can see some of these features here. This is a small subset. But more than features, we incorporated feedback from the ecosystem. And this is something that I want to emphasize. This has been a collaborative effort. Soroban is a collaborative effort. We released early and often to get feedback from you folks, and we incorporated that feedback back into the system. And I'm really proud of that. So in case you're wondering what that means in terms of actual lines of code, in the Soroban stack alone, Soroban environment, Soroban SDK, and RPC, we've added around, in more than 1,500 commits, we've added close to 200,000 lines of code. And probably more important, we've also deleted around 100,000 lines of code. And this doesn't even include Soroban support, including in other projects like Freighter and Horizon and ecosystem projects, which you've all been working on. And so all those hundreds of thousands of lines of code have translated into a new tech stack, a new smart contracts tech stack that we're very proud of. One that delivers productivity using a batteries included developer experience. So I've said this before, and I'll say this again. You've probably heard me say this before, which is the existing smart contracts platform is lacking. Okay, this idea that the EVM, the Ethereum virtual machine, is a gold standard hasn't really aged well. And so if you're launching a new platform in 2023, a new smart contracts platform, it's really sad to see people bring in baggage from 2015. We're talking about things like single-threaded transaction processing. We're talking about things like ledger bloat. We're talking things about an inefficient metering and fees system. We're also talking about things like reentrancy attacks that keep rearing their head. We've seen that just a month or two ago in the Curve hack. So for Soroban, we decided to let go of that and put that in the past and build a stack and build on standards that will serve us well for the future. And so we wanted a stack that promotes productivity, makes it faster, cheaper, simpler, and more secure to build both the financial services you want to see, but also the infrastructure to support them. And so At the heart of Soroban, there are two well-established standards. We have WebAssembly, or WASM. WebAssembly is a binary code format that was originally developed for creating secure web application. And it just so happens to be that both the web, like the blockchain, are extremely adversarial environments, and so WASM is a great fit for smart contracts. And unlike the EVM that was built in haste in 2015, WASM was built over multiple years with industry leaders from Google, Microsoft, and others. And so, the nice thing is that it's still getting built. So we're still getting more standards incorporated, and we're seeing more and more tools getting built. As a matter of fact, we, the SDF, recently joined the Bytecode Alliance in order to contribute to and influence the future of WebAssembly. And if you want to learn more, I'm going to have a fireside chat later today with Diane. Is Diane here anywhere? Diane Stefan from the Bytecode Alliance, and that's going to be, right over there. So you should check that out. It'll be great. And so WASM is supported across a variety of source programming languages. But for now and for the foreseeable future, we think that Rust is the ideal programming language for smart contracts. So why Rust? Rust is a modern programming language. It's a bit of a unicorn. It has the performance characteristics of low-level programming languages like C and C++, but it has the conveniences afforded by high-level abstractions of modern programming languages. And above all, and important for smart contracts, it was built with safety in mind. So you can't even compile a program that has memory violations in it or a plethora of other issues. Now, the really cool thing about building both our smart contracts and our runtime in Rust is that we could actually build an extremely sophisticated and intuitive and simple testing framework into our SDK, which means that you can actually run unit tests, and you can actually run integration tests for cross-contract calls, all of that without ever starting a blockchain, super fast, super efficient. More than that, you can actually use any developer tool that exists in the Rust ecosystem today. For example, you can use your favorite step-through debugger or pretty much any other tool. And the nice thing here is that one of the testimonials we keep hearing from developers joining the ecosystem is, holy shit, testing is so much more simpler, effective, and intuitive than any other blockchain we've programmed to before. OK. And testing is important. We'll touch a bit on that later. So the tech stack is one piece of the puzzle. And the other is what we actually build on it. What's the feature set? And so on top of this productive tech stack, we built a feature set that will both support low costs for the network today, but also ensure long-term price stability as adoption of the network and as Soroban grows. On the scalability front, we baked in the primitives needed, or the building blocks, to efficiently introduce multi-core support in the future. So the way that this works is every Soroban invocation actually includes a footprint. Footprint declares the dependencies of an invocation, and that allows the runtime to actually partition blocks or partition transaction sets into individual independent transaction sets that can be processed in parallel. If you want to learn more about this, you should check out Nico's talk tomorrow about the future of Soroban. On the efficiency front, we created a highly optimized runtime and a suite of cheap and efficient host functions. These allow smart contract developers to not reinvent the wheel and use all this common functionality provided out of the box. We pair that with a sophisticated multi-dimensional fee model that meters resources separately. So compute, storage, networking are all metered separately. This allows validators to actually more efficiently pack more transactions into a transaction set, effectively increasing the bandwidth. If you want to learn more about this, you should check out Jay's talk about the internals of Soroban and Siddharth's talk about fees and metering. And finally, Probably the most controversial design decision that we made with Soroban is tackling sustainability with state expiration. Ledger bloat is a real problem. Blockchains are getting full, and they're getting full of shit. You know, things like your random scammy NFT from 2018 really doesn't deserve to live forever on a blockchain. And so blockchains are really getting full. They're approaching their limits. So Soroban introduces state expiration from the ground up. It also includes all the facilities for developers to ensure that the things that matter, the valuable state remains, while said shit gets evicted. If you want to learn more, you should check out Garen's talk later today. I will mention that state expiration is a fairly controversial topic in the ecosystem. Is Orbit Lens here anywhere? If you're opposed to state expiration, you're not the only one. There's a resistance. Meet Orbit. We'll talk about that in private later. OK. And yeah, we have disagreements. That's what an open network is about. We're happy about that. Cool. So all this work hasn't gone unnoticed. And I'm proud to share that the Soroban ecosystem is live and kicking. Adoption is ramping up, and it's supported by the $100 million adoption fund that we announced last year. In 2023 alone, we've distributed more than $8 million worth of lumens, XLM, mostly through 9 rounds of the Stellar Community Fund. Reminder, the Stellar Community Fund is an open application grants program. Anyone can submit their application, and please do so. We distributed that money to more than 100 projects, and more than 40 projects are here today in Meridian, and they will be demonstrating their work. And this is across 20 different categories, or more than 20 different categories, ranging from things like DeFi primitives, things like AMMs and lending protocols, all the way to infrastructure, like indexers and oracles. And in true Stellar fashion, this has been distributed to more than projects representing more than 40 unique countries. And I'm super excited about that. OK. And so we can't really talk about the adoption of smart contracts without getting into smart contract security. And so I'd like to spend some time on this. Smart contracts are very sensitive. They often handle a large amount of capital. They're completely transparent, so anyone can see your code, and anyone can see your bugs. They operate in some of the most adversarial environment in the world of compute, blockchains. There are no firewalls. There are no extra layers of defense. It's just hackers against your code. And to top it all off, they're also immutable. So that means that if you do become aware of a bug, it's a lengthy process to change, it's risky, and sometimes it's not even possible if your contract is completely immutable. And like we mentioned earlier, Soroban is built for testability. We have a great story for doing unit tests, for doing integration tests across contract or cross-contract calls. But that's not enough. The world of security is multifaceted, and we want to make sure that we give you developers a plethora of tools and services to build your security on. And so right now, what I want to do is I want to explore what the ecosystem has built, what is being built right now, and what's coming around the corner. So let's start with fuzzing. Fuzz tests are automated tests that allow you to inject into your contract a large corpus of unexpected inputs. This is a tried and true method for finding bugs in software in general, but it's proven to be extremely valuable for smart contracts. Now, luckily, building on Rust means that we could reuse existing Rust tooling for our fuzzing story. So we actually have fuzzing incorporated across the stack, both the Soroban environment and the Soroban SDK, using the most popular fuzzing library in the Rust ecosystem, which is Cargo Fuzz. Now, I'd like to give a shout out to the ecosystem member who actually built this. Is Brian around here anywhere? So Brian Anderson, the person who actually built this into the Soroban stack, knows a thing or two about Rust. He's been part of the original core Rust team in Mozilla, and I'm super happy to have him here. He'll be demoing the fuzzying capabilities later today in the Soroban stage. Okay. Now, formal verification tools take things one step further. They allow you to mathematically prove that a specific property of a smart contract holds no matter what. And again, our tech stack, and specifically Rust, have been extremely valuable in making it easy to build these type of tools. One example is by the company OtterSec, who are here today. They built a tool, a model checker based on Canny, which is an open source Rust model checker, and they'll be demoing that later today or tomorrow. Runtime Verification, another security audit firm, are building or have proposed to the SEF to build a property verifier based on the popular K framework. K is extremely popular in Ethereum and other ecosystems, and we're glad to bring them over to the Soroban ecosystem. And this is just the beginning. More are coming. Now, these tools, they're important building blocks, but they're not enough. We really need the security experts that know Soroban and know the above tools and can help the ecosystem get our story together. And so today, I'm happy to announce the establishment of the Soroban Audit Bank. The Soroban Audit Bank utilizes the Soroban Adoption Fund to sponsor Soroban project audits. Now, the idea is very simple. This will be incorporated into the Stellar Community Fund, SEF. And if you are part of the SEF, if you're about to approach launch, and if you meet the criteria set by the SEF, you're going to get a free audit by a reputable audit firm. That's awesome. Now, thank you. Now, we're initially targeting 20 audits and are already engaging with top security firms in the DeFi ecosystem. And we expect this thing to go live within weeks and audits to start to happen in a couple weeks. Now, there's one more thing I want to talk about. As part of this journey to secure the Soroban ecosystem, we've been talking with a lot of players in DeFi, both in the Stellar ecosystem, but also outside of it. And we ask everyone, what do you need to secure your product? And one answer that we keep hearing is Certora. So Certora is a unique formal verification tool, and it includes a continuous integration service that ensures that whenever you push new code to your smart contract, you're still holding, your specification still holds. And so Certora is used by a lot of players in the ecosystem, from Maker to Aave, Lido, Balancers, and many more. And so today, I'm happy to share that Soroban is coming to Certora. So we're engaging in a long-term partnership with Certora. Soroban will be the first WebAssembly runtime supported by Certora across the stack. In addition, the Certora security team will take part of the audit bank that I just mentioned, and they will be offering training for the Soroban ecosystem. To top it all off, together with Certora, we're going to offer $600,000 worth of credits to the Certora service provided by SEF and other grant programs. And I'm also excited to share that Professor Muli Sagiv, who's right here in front of me, Certora's benevolent leader, is here with us. He will, and if you don't know Muli, he's one of the top leading researchers in the world of formal verification and smart contracts specifically, and he'll be giving a talk later today about formally verifying smart contracts, and I highly recommend checking it out. Okay, so we have all these building blocks. We have a productive tech stack, and we have the feature set to make Soroban efficient and scalable. We also have all the DeFi building blocks and the infrastructure in place, including all this security tooling. What do we do with all this? How does this translate to real-world impact? Well, this is where Stellar really shines. You can you can easily connect to Stellar's Anchor network, our network of interoperable on and off ramps, to deliver immediate access to cash and to other forms of on and off ramps around the world. And this includes MoneyGram with more than 300,000 cash agents around the world. So using this network, you can provide direct cash to DeFi access. And instead of having me talk about it, I actually want to invite two of my friends to demonstrate what they've been building on this. So I'd like to invite Alex, co-founder of Script3, and Jop, co-founder of Beans app.
Thank you, Tomer.
Thank you.
Take the stage.
Clicker. Appreciate it.
All right. Good evening, everybody. Oh, good day, everybody. So my name is Jop. I'm a co-founder of the Beans app.
And my name is Alex. I am from Script3. And we are a software development studio that specializes in making DeFi. Today, I'm super excited to share with you guys that we've been working on doing a demo of basically taking cash and putting it into DeFi, effectively earning yield all on the Stellar network. Now, before Jop goes through and showcases the demo, I'd like to pull back just a little bit and just make sure that everyone understands exactly what's going on behind the scenes. Because as you'll see shortly, Beans is a good app. The user experience is very simple, so it's easy to miss what's going on. Script3 started out with the idea of, we really want to make the assets and tokens that exist on the Stellar network more productive on-chain. And with the announcement of Soroban, we've actually finally been able to make this happen. Blend is a protocol that we designed from the ground up to be a brand new lending protocol specifically for the Stellar network. What Blend is it allows anybody, be it token issuers, on-off ramps, financial institutions, maybe even Tomer himself if he really wants to deploy a fully decentralized peer-to-peer money market. Now, to kind of take away some of the large financial jargon there, these are basically just places where users on the Stellar network can lend and borrow assets from each other and earn yield and do this from any platform. Now, we have been working with Jop and the team from Beans to ensure that no matter what, people have the option to interact with a protocol like Blend that doesn't require extensive blockchain knowledge. So I'll let Jop walk you through how a user can interact with Blend using Beans.
All right. Thank you, Alex. All right. So as Alex already said a little bit before, we're Beans. And what Beans is, we're an international payments app with users all around the world. This also means that we have users in areas where they have a bit more economic challenges going on. So yeah, those users were eager to have a solution for putting their money in a more stable currency and in the meantime also earn yield. And yeah, we think that's perfectly possible with the integration that we've done with Blend. So yeah, maybe I can take you guys through a little bit how this would look. So like you see on the screen here, for instance, this is a user from Malawi. He gets paid by his employee. He wants to put his money into a digital currency. And yeah, he just opens our app, opens a new deposit, says he wants to deposit his local currency, says, I want to drop off at a cash location through our partnership with MoneyGram. They just pick a location, go to that location, hand off the money, and a couple of seconds later, they have money in their wallet. And yeah, it would look like this. So for this instance, this user deposited $400 worth of assets, and it popped up in the Beans wallet. So what can they do then after they have their funds in their wallet? Well, they basically can open a savings balance, like you can see here on the screen with the button at the bottom side. And what is this exactly? It's basically the lending pool of the Blend protocol. So it's basically a smart contract that's behind this. So it's not just the wallet itself. So yeah, let's see how that would look if we would like to interact with Blend protocol. Yeah, so let's maybe play the video. All right, so as you can see here, this is the screen with the $400. We just say we want to open a savings balance. We select the US dollar because that's the currency we want to save in. We give a little bit of an introduction about Blend so people know what system is used with a link to learn more. Then you can put in the amount you want to put into your savings account. In this case, it's $100. Just wait a couple of seconds, and you basically opened a savings balance. And it could be as simple as this. So what happened basically at this moment was that the money went from our wallet into the Blend lending pool smart contract, and just with a couple of clicks. So it's real simplistic. Oh. Yes. So yeah, how would that look? So now, like, we opened the savings balance. So as you can see at the bottom, there's like a $100 savings balance. It shows some information about the APY. So that's like your yearly returns, the total earnings so far. And yeah, now the user needed to make some expense, so he needs to withdraw like $50. Oh, can you show the video? All right, so you basically open the dollar balance, you click on convert, then you basically withdraw $50. You say, I want to convert it. Also, a couple seconds later, the money has been withdrawn from the Blend lending pool smart contract back into the wallet. And as you see, 350 spendable and a $50 balance. This was it.
Thank you.
All right.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Sorry.
That is awesome. And one thing that I want to highlight here is that a lot of us take for granted this ability to just like casually open a savings account. And for a lot of people in the world, it's not so obvious. So having something that's like so simple and so accessible and so fast. By the way, this was a real-time demo. Nothing was accelerated. So this is awesome. Good job, guys. Okay. Okay, so so one thing is that these guys are going to give a more in-depth talk in Soroban Plaza tomorrow about what's going on behind the scenes. You should check it out. And so I really can't wait to see these type of products available and live on the network. And so, the question that everyone keeps asking me repeatedly, nonstop, is when do we go live? And so, first of all, if you weren't aware, Soroban is live on testnet. This is probably not a surprise, A, because of the technical glitch that brought this slide a minute ago, but also it's kind of hard to hide things in the world of open source and decentralized networks, so this is no big surprise to most of you. Testnet is a release candidate. The release candidate is this final stage before we schedule a mainnet vote. Usually, with new protocol version, there's around a month between going on testnet and actually voting on mainnet. In practice, we're taking things a bit slower. Soroban is the biggest protocol change, Protocol 20, the biggest protocol change of the network since its inception in 2015, and we're taking it slow and safe. So we still fully intend on bringing Protocol 20 to a vote by the end of the year. But we want to get this out. We want to get this out to the world, but we want to do this in a responsible way. We appreciate everyone's patience. Okay, so what's next? We're in Meridian right now, and we have an entire stage dedicated to Soroban, Soroban Plaza. Now, I mean no disrespect to the main stage or the ecosystem stage or to anything else, but Soroban Plaza is where shit goes down. That's where you want to be. The agenda is extremely comprehensive. We have core engineers, rare sightings of core engineers. We have ecosystem leaders, and we have a whole lot workshops and demos and more than 40 SCF projects demoing their work. It's going to be awesome. So we're going to kick this off right after the break. And obviously, the courtesy referral to soroban.stellar.org if you want to learn more, or just talk to one of the many Soroban engineers and ecosystem members here. Thank you so much. Enjoy your coffee. See you later.